We're going to make some loin lamb chops. Rib chops are good, but the loin, when you have this piece here, a little nice tender piece, I bought the veal in 2 different stores just to show you the difference. This store is a little thicker, and that was $1 more a pound. And these are cut a little thinner. The one that was $1 more a pound, I like that thickness. So next time I'm going to buy that. So we're going to season a little salt and pepper mix. Season the veal on both sides with salt and pepper. I'm not going to use any kind of stock, but if you have to use a stock, use a veal stock. So because we don't have a stock, we're going to use heavy cream in this recipe and mushrooms. A little sherry. I'm going to saute the veal with the flour. Dust it in flour, saute the veal. Take it out before it's cooked. Remember, veal, you don't want to eat it well done. You want to eat it with a little pink inside. We know it's not beef, but it shouldn't be well done veal. Then after the veal comes out, if we need a little more oil in the pan, or butter, it's up to you, or butter and oil, then we're going to saute all of this. Actually, I take back what I said. I'm sauteing the dry stuff here. All the herbs, see the sprigs, I just cut them in half. They're going to be, this is not going to be part of the sauce, either with the tomatoes, but I want to get a little color on the veal, and if I put the tomatoes, I'll never get color, so the tomatoes will go in later. So this is relatively simple, and it should come out very tasty. Because veal is a delicate item, and I didn't want to, you can see a lot of different recipes that throw citrus in there and other things that really take away from the taste of the veal. If I was eating the veal myself, all I would do is salt it, pepper it, flour it, saute it, put it on the table and eat it, or take it out and grill it. But since I'm making a recipe and my wife's going to be eating, I want to have a little sauce to go with it tonight. We have a moderate flame that's been sitting like for about 5 minutes like that. The veal has been seasoned. We're going to dust it in flour. You know, you waste flour, but it's easier to work with like this. Just take the veal. Dusting means not to leave a lot of flour on it. Shake it a little, that's fine. So you do each piece like that, and we'll put some oil in the pan and brown it nice and slow. Not hot, hot, hot. We don't want any burnt spots. Olive oil. Now if you want to use butter and olive oil, now you would put the butter in there also. And the oil would keep the butter from burning on you. We want to go slow. And we're going to just brown it on both sides and take it out. This piece is much thicker, so that'll take longer to cook. And of course the thinner pieces will come out sooner. Matter of fact, these thin pieces, they're just going to, especially this one here, you see the thickness on that? That will cook in here and only heat up later. That shows you that the butcher who butchered this didn't have a keen eye. It was a little bit off. This one's a little bit thicker. So you look for, you know, uniformity in the cuts of meat that you're going to buy. I wasted all this flour, but it's easier to work with like that. And the reason why I flour this, for making a sauce, we're going to use heavy cream. And that will assure me that the sauce will have some body. Now I'm going to throw water in there also. I don't have to have a stock because everything that you see there is going to give it more flavor. But if I had veal stock, I would use it. Not in the mood to put chicken stock in there. The mushrooms cut in quarters, not sliced, so they have a better, they look better on the plate. And I smell the herbs already. So that flavor is going to get into the veal. And we go nice and slow here. So the plan is brown the veal lightly on both sides, moderate flame. The top side is not going to brown that great because all the herbs and vegetables are in there. So at least you have one side that has nice color. And this will also, if we get color, will darken the sauce a wee bit. No sense in wasting film now. Come back in a few minutes and see if it's brown on the bottom and then turn it over. Well, it's been a few minutes. Let's see what we have. That's fine. I'll go to this butcher next time. That's a good thickness. So that's working out well. Then when I take the veal out, well, just before I take the veal out, I'm going to splash some sherry in there. It'll deglaze it a little bit. Then I'll keep on cooking the vegetables. And I'm going to throw in a cup of water, a cup of heavy cream, and that should do it. So now we have this to cook. If you notice, this is very soft. This is getting a little firmer. This one's very soft. In about 2 minutes, I'm going to take that one out. So we're going to add the sherry. This is a little tricky because, all right, the flavor of the sherry is going to get into the veal. Later, see this piece here? This piece is going to, and this piece will go in much later. This will go in a little sooner. So we're going to take this piece out. And this one. I'm going to just cut into like that, deglaze nicely. Throw the tomatoes in there. Because they got to cook and that flavor has to get in. Now I'll show you. Look at this veal. When I say this is ready, I'll show you. See that color? That's ready. So all we have to do is just warm that up. That's those two pieces. So they'll be perfect later. If you cook them any more now, you will have problems. So now these two pieces. This one's going to come out first. See how firm that is? And this has a lot of play in it? Sure, because it's thicker. So we're going to take this one out now. Just scrape off all of that. That's good. About another minute or so. This piece will come out. And then the veal later will be perfect. See, if you go to a meat butcher, not a supermarket like I did, then you can tell them what you want exactly. And he'll give it to you. It might cost a little bit more there, but that's how it is. Good. So we deglaze the pan with the sherry, picking up the flavor of the veal. And now we're going to add, see, I could take this out now, put this in first later, and just finish it off. So there's no problem at all with any of the veal. Now into this, we'll raise the flame a little bit. We're going to add the cream and the sherry in a minute. Now we'll add the cream. And the water, or if you have veal stock, add the veal stock. I just don't want chicken stock in there. And why do I add water? There's no problem. This is going to boil down. It's going to boil down to where there's just enough liquid here to cover the veal. And that's what we want. So let that simmer about 15 minutes. Simmering nicely. This will take about 15-20 minutes. And then there'll be just enough sauce left for the veal. We're going to strain this. Put the mushrooms in there. Now that this has reduced nicely and cooked, and then I'm going to put it back anyway. Going to strain it through this fine chinois now. Take it over to the sink and press it into here, get all the juice out of everything, and then continue. So now we'll put a little olive oil in there, or the butter olive oil, or just plain butter, and moderate flame. Cook these mushrooms. Put a little salt and pepper on them. Cook them quickly. They won't take long. Mushrooms never take long. Okay, we don't want to waste film on watching this, so you have a flame like so. You're going to saute them. This will take about 5-6 minutes. Now these mushrooms are going very fast. We're going to lower the flame. And the reason why I use the button mushrooms, these white ones, they give off a nice flavor. And they give off a lot of juice. So we're going to put the veal in there. Where the juice is on the plate, and the sauce, which is like this much, you have to really press it. Now we raise the flame, And that's going to simmer for just a couple of minutes, and then we're going to serve. And if you notice, the amount of sauce is just right. Matter of fact, if it should happen that the veal's in there too long and the sauce is like not reduced enough, that is no problem. We will just remove the veal, let the sauce just reduce for another minute or two. Everything else I have going is ready for the plate. Now this flour is going to help thicken this a little bit with the reduction. Like I said, high flame now, because you want to get done and you don't want to overcook the veal. This veal only has to be hot now, especially these two pieces right here. This one and this one. Now I'm serving this with the stuffed baked potato and some veggies. So we'll look at the finished plate. Going to remove this one and this one. No, this one. You can feel the difference in the weight. And this. Color looks great. If you want to serve this with rice, I have a little extra sauce here to go with it. Now quickly taste the sauce, because this has to be seasoned like now, finished, ready. Just a little bit more salt and pepper. Okay, that's it. Put this back in there for a second. 2, 3. Now that this is ready, I'm going to get everything else on the plate. Put this on the plate, and we'll look at it. That's my dog. I think he's hungry. Everything's on the plate. Now we're going to put the veal. You may think it's a lot, but the people that are eating this like to eat. And then the sauce. Great consistency, a lot of mushrooms. Don't be sloppy like me, make it nice. Get all the mushrooms out of there and all the sauce, because as you eat each piece, you're going to want to soak up the sauce with it. And if you had bread, you'd be doing it. So there you go. Enjoy.